Hi guys, Sarika Jain, love and dating coach and author of the 90-Day Soulmate Plan. Today I want to talk to you about why empathic leaders attract narcissists. Okay, so I think it's important to define what an empathic leader is. And recently I read that empathic leaders are going to be leading the way forward in our world. Empathic leaders have a very important role to play. They're people with deep empathy. They're people who have deep access to their intuition, who are wise souls, maybe even older souls in our bodies. An empathic leader is someone who leads the world through love and compassion and understanding and harmony and all of those things, and is wise and potent. So I've worked with a lot of empathic women, and typically empathic women pick up on people's energies. They tend to get involved in people's emotional lives without realizing it. They just don't have strong boundaries. They're always the giver. They're always the fixer, and they're the people that friends and family turn to whenever things are not going well. So they're always providing a listening ear. And in relationships, they're always the one giving, And they're strong, they're successful. Many of the women that I work with, right? They're, leading in many of their own ways. Okay, they're path makers, way showers. What happens is that these very type of women and men, but today I'm talking about women, attract narcissists. And whether you had a narcissistic parent or not, or you've just been through a string of narcissistic relationships, then this message is for you. Okay? Narcissism is very, very challenging. It is a sickness of some sort. And in the beginning, we don't usually know whether someone is a narcissist or not. And they'll show up for you, love bomb you, make you feel on top of the world. They're charismatic. They know what to say. They make great lovers. I mean, I've had clients who say that, the kind of connection that they've had with their partners is out of this world. It's cosmic even, so it's hard to understand why you would attract someone with whom you feel such deep connection with on a cosmic level, right? And that person abuses you or is a narcissist. Like, it's hard to understand that. And yet, today I want to share that there's a reason. There's a spiritual reason, I believe. Okay. First of all, we're in a world where narcissism is rampant, in our leadership structures, in our corporations and government, and every part of life, actually, because those are the qualities that help people be successful. I mean, if you think about it, some of the most successful people, the most high functioning people, are those who've probably experienced some trauma themselves and have compensated for them and are now very leadership driven, but might have like deep wounds that they haven't healed from. And from what I understand with narcissists is that they can't really heal those wounds. They're such deep wounds, almost like complete erosion of self-esteem. So you can't really, if you are with a narcissist, you can't really hope for them to get better. It's just part of their personality, And if you don't know if you're with a narcissist, look up, now there are a lot of resources on it. Dr. Ramani Dhurvashala, she is an expert in this area. And, you know, from the people I've talked to, clients, friends, they didn't even know what narcissism was until they started watching her videos. So it's relatively new. The knowledge about narcissism is relatively new, surprisingly. I mean, I've worked with clients who only now, like through our work, realized that one of their parents was narcissistic, you know, because we're not taught to look for those traits in people. We just assume that they're pushing us to be our best selves, or, you know, that's just how it is. You know, we're so used to being in a toxic environment. I'm very fortunate that I did not grow up with toxic parents. I'm very, very fortunate. So when I got to work at corporations where there were toxic people, narcissistic people, I could see it. You know, I was like, wow, the system doesn't make sense to me. These people, the way they operate, don't make sense to me. But I still have to play the game. And in the corporate world, I forced myself to play the game. It was very hard, which is why, you know, I went on to start my own business. And, but now, like, now looking back, I know, like, that's what it is, right? There are people who, you know, lead in this world, who, you know, show up as like the best men to date, surprisingly, right? So as a smart single woman in New York City, I was attracted to narcissists because they're the most successful, the most charming, the best dressed. They know the places to eat. They have access to Fashion Week, you know, they take you on amazing vacations. So you think that it's the real deal with the narcissist, because the love is so high. I mean, it makes you high. It's like a dopamine rush, right? And there's a lot of emotions and hormones involved when you're with a narcissist. You feel adrenaline when you're anticipating their call or anticipating their moves. And when they're courting you, even, you know, there's dopamine, there's serotonin probably, right? And then when you're really low, like when your partner's really low because they're going through their own stuff, they drag you into their drama, which is how you know that a relationship isn't healthy, right? Is if you're being dragged or sucked into this person's emotional hellhole, right? And you're trying to fix it, you're trying to solve it, or they might be projecting it onto you. I mean, that's another sign that you're with a narcissist, is they're projecting their very own behavior, toxic behaviors on you, making you feel guilty. You know, I've read texts from narcissistic parents and lovers. I mean, it's always like, some of the texts are so heavy. They're like pages and pages of texts, you know, about like what you did wrong, you know, how disappointed they are in you, etc. That's not healthy love. It's not. Okay. And so, you know, whether you're in a toxic relationship now or not, a narcissistic relationship, it's important to take stock. Take a pause, love yourself, okay, seek support, because you might not be in the relationship now, but you have a lot of trauma built up in your body. And I have seen and worked with women who have trauma from being in narcissistic and abusive relationships. It's deep emotional imprints, it's energetic imprints, it's, you know, a deep brokenheartedness. There might even be a wall around your heart. Okay, and the diseases, I mean, the stress-related diseases that people get from having been in those relationships, because you've had all your power sucked out of you. You know, it's almost like your solar plexus has been eroded because the person takes energy from you like a vampire. Okay, so you have to get support. You do. Like, you cannot recover from narcissism on your own. It's just physically and emotionally and spiritually impossible, because you cannot be your own doctor, right? You can't, another person can hold space for you as you heal these deep wounds, right? But you can't do it yourself, because you were so in it, and your body is almost wired to want it. I mean, that's the other thing, is when I coach clients, their bodies, and even mine when I was dating, right? It's like you just get used to, your body is physiologically wired for unhealthy love, okay? So there's deep rewiring that has to be done. There's cutting of energetic cords. So I call it closing your X-files. It's when you go back and you cut cords with X's. It's cutting of spiritual cords. It's deep, you know, healing, forgiveness, self-love. I mean, you have to basically nurture yourself back to normal. Your nervous system has been deeply impacted by these relationships. And really, you can't experience good things in life if your nervous system is impacted, okay? You can only grow at the pace of your nervous system. Okay, so if you're not feeling expansion in your life, abundance, love, all of that, look at your nervous system. How is it doing? How are you doing? How is she doing? What does she need to restore herself? Is she in stress? Is she in fight or flight mode? You know, that's where you need to go. And it's real. The suffering is real. I just want to acknowledge for you that the suffering from having been in a narcissistic relationship is real. It's traumatic. Okay? It's not something that you can just get up, you know, dust yourself off and start dating again. No, because you will keep repeating the same patterns over and over. Why? Well, number one, because your physiology will demand it, will desire it. So even though your soul wants something better, your soul knows that you deserve the best kind of love, the most unconditional, fulfilling, deeply adoring and cherishing love from your partner. You deserve that, right? One that helps you grow and evolve your consciousness. One that supports your soul evolution. You deserve that kind of love. I call it higher love, okay? But on a physical level and an emotional level, you're imprinted to attract narcissistic relationships. So even if Mr. Right showed up for you, you'd probably not even see this person, or you'd sabotage it. Like, you just wouldn't be able to feel desire or attraction for a healthy kind of relationship. You'd almost think it's too boring, because that's what healthy love can sometimes feel like. Like, it's just grounding and boring, you know, but in the most beautiful way, in the most mundane and grounding kind of way. Okay, so I'm not saying true love isn't exciting. It is. It's heady. It's filled with hormones too. It's beautiful. It's exciting. There's butterflies, you know, when you're in your stomach, when you're waiting for your partner and you to take your relationship to the next level, and buying your first home, having children together, living out your purpose, your mission together, having sex together. There's so many beautiful, amazing experiences to be had when you're with the right partner, but you won't be able, your heart won't be able to be open to it until you heal from these toxic relationships. And again, it could be past lovers, or it could be parent, right? And so I have a process. My coaches offer a process, or take women through a process of closing your X files and restoring you to your core frequency, which is our goal. Our goal is to help you come back to your true nature, your true essence, the one that you were born with, okay? Restoring your mind, body, and soul so that you can be open to healthy relationships and abundance and self-expression. It's a very windy day. So now I'm going to get to the second part. Why you attracted narcissistic relationships, okay? So I believe that empathic leaders, women especially, attract narcissists because there's something to learn, okay? There's a soul lesson for you. It's because you're meant to be great. So it sounds counterintuitive, but I really now just am seeing that, like, the most powerful people I know had narcissistic ties. And the things in life that challenge you, that bring you down to your knees, are the very things that help you get up and become stronger, become the strongest, most compassionate, most wisest, most intuitive versions of yourself. Because it's almost like like a rubber band, you know? It's like the rubber band, you can keep pulling and pulling and pulling on the elastic of the rubber band, and then boom, you let it go, and then it snaps back. And that's your power. That's your power when you snap back. When you're, or maybe like a boomerang, right? Trying to think of a really good analogy. But anyways, I think that what happens is, if we're not challenged, then our power remains dormant because we're complacent and we're not pushed to our highest potential. And I believe that narcissists are like the Dark Lord, you know, the ones that we had a soul contract with to heal from, to learn from, and to grow. So maybe on a soul level, this person is a benevolent soul. I'm sure all souls are benevolent, but maybe before you were born, you took on this contract with this person where they said, listen, I'm going to play this role for you, and it's going to kick your ass, and you're going to grow. Maybe you were a narcissist in a past life, and you need to heal and learn and grow from this, okay? There's karmic reasons. Whatever it is, you don't need to go into the why of why you attracted this relationship. I'll share with you, so I was engaged to someone, and I wouldn't say he's a narcissist, but he's, you know, we weren't right for each other, but he did break my heart. And I did a soul reading, and apparently I had done this to this person 7 lifetimes ago. So even though I felt like I was the victim in this life, it turns out I'd done this very thing to this person. So anyways, I just wanted to let you know that narcissism is an opportunity for you to grow, to heal, to become the best version of yourself, to become the most loving version of yourself. It's an impulse. It's a spiritual impulse. Okay? So take it as a good sign. You're here to reach your potential as an empathic leader and to experience true healthy love, because in this world of polarity, when you know of what you don't want, then you can begin to desire or bring into form what you do want. You need to have the contrast. So I hope that this was enlightening. And please like this video, share it if you feel it would be beneficial to others. And I hope to see you in a different video. Take care.